Oh,
That would
okay,
be our yearly payment for that.
so update that to,
355.
Right, 355,000, that's the yearly payment for that. The city revenue loss, again, on this council, this is something that we would like to hear from the council on. We did, as the council knows, we did calculations as to how much revenue loss, it was more than $350,000 when it came to sales tax, and other things that we normally count on. During the pandemic, of course, we didn't collect on anything's rentals, anything else, we had closed it all down. So that's what we had asked for this year for revenue loss, but it's something that the council feels we need to, I know we talked about, doing shields, but if we need to do the shields this year, I have no issue if we can use that money for that. But it is something that we could look at to use that money for other things. We've been using it primarily for infrastructure, very little, I don't think we did anything, we didn't do any, I think the council, I believe the county did it for pay increases, we have
Yeah,
not.
we did do
proposed to
that. Mayor?
Yeah, Councilwoman
Okay,
Rodriguez.
what is our balance from this year of the ARP funds? $0,
Yeah,
okay?
well, let me, not very much, it's close to zero. I don't
it's,
really-
it's,
Don't tell me it's
there
like
is some,
50,000 and you're saying it's zero.
no,
like
there
Riot
is
Shield.
some encumbrance of like 400,000, but it's encumbered, so it's already like, we're just waiting for the companies
Our
to
biggest-
send us the invoices.
Our biggest one, the encumbrances, it totals about, give or take, about $1 million. Because, and the reason I'm saying is I don't have a direct figure because our biggest, I'll give you a kind of a breakdown, okay? We used some of these dollars to pay for the master drainage study. We did the biggest expense was the design for the I-35 that ran us around half of what we currently, what we received. And then we also have another expense of paying for the refurbishing of the tank. And then I think that ran us about, all in all, that's about $1 million too. I'm trying to remember, oh, clarifier, the clarifier.
That's right, yeah.
Clarifier was on the replacement of meters was also on there. So I would say we're around $1 million.
Okay, so that was from last year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have meters again
Yep.
for 355,000?
No, again, that was, needs to change.
That, the name needs to change, it's gonna be for the
All right, it's
tank.
just hard because we look at these numbers at home and we have our notes on the paper.
Yep.
So that's why we're gonna question more if we're not getting the accurate numbers.
No.
Okay. The other thing is okay, we're gonna go back to the shields for, if we can get that from ARP. The reason I say this, I know I wasn't at the last meeting, but the shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas, happened at school. The shootings are happening everywhere, okay? I don't wanna put the burden all on our school district. Or just say, oh, well, that's the school cop's job, that's their problem. Or that's the county problem. I wanna be prepared for the city. I want to make sure that our community feels safe going shopping at H-E-B. They feel safe going shopping at Walmart, and they feel safe going to church, okay? Knowing that our cops are well equipped. If something of this, or just horrible tragedy that happened in Uvalde, that our community can continue living life like we're supposed to, without fear. Knowing that our cops are equipped with equipment that is needed to protect our citizens. And listening to everything that I heard on Uvalde, on the news, CNN, NBC, these cops were scared to go in because they didn't have shields. They were scared because they didn't have equipment, or they didn't have the training. And what I would like to do is use those ARP funds, if they're able to train our cops to make our communities safe. We are safe, but so we can continue living our life normal. And go to church, and go shopping at H-E-B, go shopping at Walmart, enjoy the parks, enjoy walking downtown, knowing that our cops are there to protect us, and they are equipped and they are trained.
Yeah, Councilwoman, that made a great point. I think you really echo what everybody said last week. I think,
Yeah, that's
and
why I
we
said I
don't,
wasn't
yeah,
there.
we don't want to wait till October. We want to do that. And I just got to share with the SO has this. The county has already provided that. I'm not sure about the school, whether they have those. But two, rest assured, I did get a chance to go to the schools, active shooter training, constables, SO, PD, were there, and it was a tremendous training in that regard. So anything like this, I can't speak for the county and the constables,
Yeah.
but they're all gonna be there. They're all gonna
I know,
rest
I
the age in
understand
school.
that. I just wanna make sure that us,
Yeah.
that we represent the
Yeah.
city,
Yeah.
and we're the voice of the community, and we
Sure.
wanna let them know that we are doing everything in our power
Yeah.
to make them feel safe.
I think we're gonna be able to do that. I think Fred got the message that we need to make those changes, make that happen ASAP. And get these guys, the things they need, it'll need to be some training with the weapons and get them sighted. Those shields, my goodness. Bianca, Rudy let me carry that thing. Those are real.
And I think the
real
one that
honored
had
to
the
carry
most,
that.
I think the county may have borrowed from Catula is what I've heard.
Oh,
The county has them. The
Okay.
county already has them.
Yeah,
And
cause I was
they're
talking to the sheriff's
they're
wife from
the-
Catula,
ballistic ones.
and they said, those are very expensive,
Yeah.
but they're very,
They weigh like 40 pounds. There's
Yeah.
there's the small rifle and the large rifle. You got a question?
Somebody already got them through the ARP fund, Mr.
Well,
Flores, do you know who?
we have a few shields, is that what you're?
But didn't somebody already get them approved and got them through the ARP? Somebody nearby, do you know?
All I'm aware of is what the county posted in the newspaper.
And they got it through the ARP funds?
That's what I remember reading.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we're definitely on that. Thank you
Okay.
guys very much. All right.
My other question was the professional services, what is that?
Professional.
Cause it shows 300 and,
300,000, right?
yes,
I think that was, and I need to go back to my notes, Councilman, but I don't have my budget with me, I should have brought it with me. But I can get you an answer for that. We had, what we did last year, of course, we used it. Professional services always design stuff, so whatever it is we do for design, we put under professional services, so normally hiring an engineer. But I'm trying to recall what that, I know we talked about that, but I have to look back, because I don't have it in my notes.
I can look up the GL if you want me to right now.
Mhm.
I can get the details for you.
So-
so we are hotel occupancy tax and fire fund.
Can I get you that answer in a little bit, council? Can I get y'all that answer with that?
Yeah.
And, we'll come back to Jeff.
Okay.
Let's just go ahead and do these other funds so we can.
Okay.
Hotel, motel, go ahead.
Thank you.
Hotel motel. Okay, council, you're gonna see from our current budget of 305, 343, to 726, 343. That is a big jump, but that is due to line item 401, building maintenance.
I can touch on that if you want. What you'll find there, council, is on that line item, it's $500,000. And what we're proposing on that, now we'd have to take out of reserves for that.
Hotel,
Hotel, motel reserves, yes.
Mhm.
I'd like to apply for Parks and Wildlife grant this year, it does require a match. I think the deadline for that application I missed this year is August, I can't remember, it's early August. And so I'd like to apply for it next year, I think it's a matching 50-50. And so I'd like to see if we could come up with something, I think our requirement is we have to have a Parks Master Plan, which we will have, but hopefully by the end of this fiscal year. And we also will have conceptual drawings of improvements to the sports complex and I believe Polo Patino restaurants. So
Yes.
we'd like to see if we can match that grant with our contribution, our match of $500,000. All in all, it'll be about $1 million.
Yeah, we were talking about that last year, but we didn't have the master plan study.
We don't have it, and so that's part of the comprehensive plan, and so that comp plan, I'm hoping will be finished by this coming month, in September. Once we have that, then we can apply for those, for that grant. But the deadline is.
So that is the hike in that it's the match to the 500,000 to match the grant to the upgrades to the parks.
And we also have $50,000 on that, on the salaries, and that is to, if the council we move forward, getting the chamber going, that $50,000 would potentially go to hire the executive director. I'm not saying it's all salary, I'm saying salary, whatever benefits, but that's what we budgeted for that position, and that's the total of the increase. So all in all, those two items alone is about $550,000 of that.
And the 500,000 will be subject to, I mean, obviously we wouldn't spend it if we didn't get the other
Right.
grant.
Yes.
And then for you new council members, I know this may be a little bit redundant, but you know the hotel motel tax is what travelers pay to our hotels. And it's like 13% or whatever it is anyway. We get 300,000 or 400,000 a year. We've got some reserves. And we can use that for putting heads in beds and community promotion things and things like this. So it's not really, it's not really coming from our tax base, our utility rates or anything of that nature. Kind of something that we can use to do these kind of things and sprucing up our sports complex always has a lot of wide repercussions that are valuable. So anyway, and again, it's just something for us to consider and look at and to highlight on that. Wouldn't happen unless we get this grant. But Councilman Trujillo, that you're talking about, we're going to start working on those as much as we can. Give it a try.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I know that, I think we already brought this point up, but I know that in this 500,000, we're looking at Bolivardino restaurants, right?
Right.
Why wasn't this, when we did this upgrade in this renovation at Bolivardino, was the restaurant not included in it?
I wasn't here at the time, but I don't know what all.
I've questioned that plenty of times.
But it was, I think from what I understood, there was just, the funding wasn't there, one, and then I think they did the skate park or whatever. I don't know all the details, so I don't really speak, I can't speak to it. That's my understanding. But that's all I can say.
I just wanted to know that, for the record, I would think that that would come out of that renovation that park did years ago. So,
What did they do with that money that was supposed to be included to do
Well,
that?
they put it on the park.
And part of what improvements that were made to the park, again, the skate park, and I don't know what all the other improvements were made to the park. But I know that those insurance, some of that went here, maybe 2 million, 3 came to this building.
and I only asked that because I know that I'm sure we will get that, once they see some movement within that park, we're gonna be questioned, why now, why with this budget, why wasn't done?
Yes.
And those are the things that we would need to report to our citizens, why is it being done on it? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Jackie? next item?
Any more questions on hotel motel? Okay, we're gonna go down to the fire fund. And here you can see our current budget was 663,704. It is now decreased to 329. The reason for that decrease was this past year we purchased the fire truck. So that is no longer being carried on that. So, that is the total, for the proposed budget for the fire fund.
What was the proposed budget fund in 2020 when we didn't purchase a fire truck?
It was 184.
So why aren't we proposing that?
I
It's
believe,
a payment, one of them was a payment to the fire truck.
mhm.
Jackie, is that correct?
Yes, the debt service, it says pumper lease, but that's not what it's worth for the fire truck. Yes, it's 130 for the, line item 695.
130,000?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you proposing the budget on?
Oh, we get that those dollars, $130,000 from the fire prevention district.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So year-to-date actuals that we received, was 75,000. The fire prevention, 139 for actuals was 21, 22. And then this is 130,000.
So why couldn't we propose 200,000 versus the 300?
Why couldn't you?
Is it a pass-through, Jackie? Is that what that is?
We've already purchased a truck and we just have one more lease option.
I think if you look at the 21, 22, you had 280,099 was the actual.
Mhm.
And all we did different was in 2020, this fiscal year, was we added the payment for that fire truck.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And I think we have that with the,
Yeah.
with the ESD, I
With the
believe.
ESD, yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
so
we
they're
have
making that
that.
contribution of 25,000.
Okay.
Any questions on that? Okay, here we're going to the interest and sinking fund. Keep in mind from your notice from the tax rate. Our total required, debt for 2022 debt service is gonna be 1.297, and 73 for the debt services. Here, you'll see, these are all the payments, or this is all the debt that we have to pay out of the interest in sinking.
This is,
Currently, we project, this is all current.
Yes, this is
this council is one item that's missing here. All in all, it's debt service of about $2 million. We pay about, of that entire debt, we pay about 1.2, almost $1.3 million from taxes. The other part of the debt we pay through the utility fund. So we transfer 670
676.
from our utility fund to pay for debt service. So all in all, again, it comes out to about $2 million. And that's the majority, that's all of with the exception of one payment, that's all of the debt that's paid, for the year.
For the year out of this.
I just know that, I know y'all are busy right now, getting numbers ready, trying to close out that audit, but we need to get right numbers sent to us. You know, like, we have stuff missing from there, numbers where they're on boxes that don't belong there, and those are what's raising questions, and sometimes it'll prolong the meeting,
Are
because.
you talking about interest in sinking?
No, but we had, on one diagram, we had money put in there that shouldn't have been placed in there, 350,000. Then we had on the taxes, we had the last sheet that shouldn't have been attached to it. And those are the questions that I've been asking. So if, it's okay, because we know we're busy, we're trying to get that audit done, I understand numbers, crunching everything. It's just, it'll be easier right now for budget time, so we have accurate numbers.
Now, we will have those accurate numbers to you next week.
Okay, is there any other questions on interest in sinking?
None. Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else, Jackie?
No,
Fred, anything else?
just that we have a meeting next week.
Next week is the proposed
Is
budget.
the proposed budget.
Proposed budget, we'll have
For
a
day of school?
tax rate.
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
going to do
sure.
passing tax rates.
All right, Tim, you're gonna have a full day, and,
Y'all better have something to eat back there.
yeah. And guys, I know budgets are kind of heavy, but study them, make notes, take your pen and paper, write all over them. All right, with that, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna take a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Hernandez, second by Councilwoman Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody. Bianca, we had a record.